Hello everyone and welcome back to Half Magic Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is How Will You Meet Your Soulmate? There are 4 piles to choose from and I suggest selecting your pile based on the pile marker that sparks a memory in you. So for example, I would choose pile 2, Sulace, because the waterfall on this card reminds me of the waterfall I visited with my mom in Singapore. So I will put the timestamps for each pile in the description down below. Feel free to pause the video now to select your pile and let's get started. If you selected pile 1, Vesta, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out how you are going to meet your soulmate. So, for my pile 1 viewers, I'm getting the sense that for a lot of you, you have been very frustrated in your love life and in your romantic pursuits. And I'm getting that for most of you, there's really not a whole lot going on. Like, you are not someone who's really been actively dating. You haven't met anyone that you would like to date. And I think you're a little frustrated by that and you feel like your love life is stagnant. Here's the thing though, the universe wants you to know that you are contributing to this stagnancy. I think for 99% of the people here, you are very much homebodies. You know, you may go to work, but once you're done, you want to go home and cuddle up and be by yourself and sit on the couch and watch your favorite TV show, which there's nothing wrong with that. But realistically, you are not going to put yourself like in the pathway to meet new people that way, although it would be great, wouldn't it? If they could just meet you where you are, but it's highly unlikely. And I think that's really coming through in the first card in your spread here, the 7 of Wands, which I think, especially in a love reading, it's like kind of putting yourself at a distance from maybe the people who would want your attention, or fighting people off in a way. So you may not actively be like, oh, I'm kind of refusing everyone, but I think it's very easy to feel like, oh, there's no one who's actually like checking for me, and it's because you've put yourself like in an entirely removed position from the actual dating scene. So I think you're probably a little frustrated and feeling like there's no options out there, and then there's maybe people who would like to be options for you or who would like to get your attention but feel like you're a little unreachable. But with the next card in your spread being Lust, and then this deck that translates to Strength, this is kind of a card about overcoming those things that are holding you back. So in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, the Strength card is represented by a woman who is holding closed like the jaw of a lion. And so I really see that as being able to tame these parts of yourself that can be maybe aggressive or flighty or impulsive, or just generally are not serving you. You're learning how to use these qualities that you have that maybe in the past have been counterproductive to better serve you and the things that you want. And so in this case, I feel like for a lot of you, you're going to have this shift in your mindset where you do kind of come to this realization like, okay, I am maybe ready to open myself up more to the possibility of dating or to meeting new people or to the world. And truthfully, you don't even have to approach this as like, I'm looking for a partner. I think what will really help you come into contact with your soulmate, like how you're going to meet this person, is once you decide to just become more involved in your community. And I wouldn't do it specifically because you're trying to like meet your soulmate. I don't think I also don't get the feeling that you are someone who would want to do that anyway. Like, I don't think you would be like, I need to just go to speed dating stuff. This really feels to me like you need to think, okay, what are some things that I really enjoy doing? Maybe you really like going to get brunch with your friends. Maybe you do that. Maybe you choose a specific restaurant that you decide to go to every Sunday. Maybe you really like going to concerts. Maybe you try to find one local concert a month that you can go to. Maybe you really enjoy the library or bookstore. You end up going there. Maybe you decide that you really like cooking and you start taking culinary classes. There's ways to Do things that you will enjoy, that will get you out of the house, that are not pushing you outside of your comfort zone or making you do things that you're not actually already drawn to, because I think people are much more attracted to your energy when you're in a position where you're happy or excited to be doing what you're already doing. And so this is kind of that energy for me of you making that shift from being like, oh, I don't want to go do anything, I don't want to be involved, I don't want to put myself out there, quote unquote, to being like, okay. But instead of holding up, I can find ways that maybe are things that I'm not used to doing, like making plans or trying new classes, but things that I still enjoy that will put me more in the path of potentially, meeting my soulmate, which is what this reading's about, right? And I think that's also coming through, reflected in the next two cards here, this Four of Pentacles and the Death card. So the Four of Pentacles, especially in a love reading, I also see as someone who is kind of refusing to be vulnerable or to open themselves up. So again, I'm getting that, this pile is not really someone who is actively like out there flirting with people or, putting themselves in a position where they are really around the kind of people that they are attracted to. But Death is a card that's all about change. And if you look at the body language of this Death card, they're holding this sword and kind of walking towards the Four of Pentacles. So to me, this feels like you slashing that need to maybe fully protect yourself, encase yourself, and allow yourself to be vulnerable, which can be scary, putting yourself out there. But sometimes you have to sacrifice that feeling of safety in order to experience the joys of being known. And I think, again, that's something that you really come to understand, and ultimately that is what leads you to your soulmate. And I think with the Witch of Swords at the very end here, the Witch of Swords is equivalent to the Knight of Swords. This represents a Gemini. It's a Gemini card, so your soulmate could be a Gemini or have a prominent Gemini placement in their natal chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or you could meet this person during Gemini season, so that would be late May through most of June. But I'm also seeing this as the Knight of Swords is someone who is very passionate about their intellectual pursuits, or about their ideas or the things that matters to them, about organizing, about learning. And so I think that is really how you meet this person, is you decide, okay, I want to be more involved in the community, I want to go out and do more, I want to leave the house more. And so you end up doing things that are aligned with your curiosity. So again, that could be taking classes, like a culinary class, dance class, going to the library, going to bookstores, going to like events for things that you're interested in, going to podcast recording shows, things like that. And this will differ for everyone. Obviously, your own interests, but I think it's really worth it to plan, like, it doesn't even have to be something extreme. You don't need to be out every night, but I would try to plan maybe like 2 events that you go to or 2 things that you do a month, because I think ultimately that is really going to not just put you into contact with your soulmate, but also make you feel a lot more connected to your community and the place where you live. And with your pile marker being Vesta, this says home. Your household situation is improving either through a move or a healthy change in the occupants. So for a lot of you, this could be very literal, that you first are moving to like a new city or a new town or a new house or a new apartment complex. And, initially maybe you're like, oh, I don't really want to like get to know the community or figure out what's around me. And then you're like, okay, I need to do the dive though, so I can really put down roots and get a feel for everyone around me and maybe make friends, make connections. And so that's what's going to lead you to this person. So this person could live in your new neighborhood if you're moving or planning on moving, or you're like thinking about getting a new job. They could live in your apartment complex, and maybe you both go to like a residence event. Maybe they just moved to your neighborhood and they have like a housewarming party for everyone on the block. But definitely I think your physical location is tied to this in some way. So if you are someone who has maybe been considering moving because you've maybe always wanted to live in a different city or a different town, or you've been eyeing this job that's in a different town, but you're not sure if you could take it, that is the thing that is going to put you in connection with your soulmate. So I would definitely go ahead and take it. Now, I also pulled some tea leaf fortune cards for you. The first one says Claw, which says, be careful, do not take risk. And for me, that really goes with this Seven of Wands and this Four of Pentacles, which I think is your current attitude when it comes to dating or putting yourself out there, where you're not really taking risk. And I think that's what the universe is trying to tell you, that your frustration is partly your own doing. And it's something that you have to really kind of break those habits yourself in order to come into contact with your soulmate. But that is coming through in the second tea leaf fortune card here that says Arrow. You are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. So again, if you're planning on moving or starting a new job or moving to a new house or apartment, that is definitely the way to go to meet your soulmate. Or if you've been considering starting taking classes, going back to school, new hobbies, you've been considering going to certain events, you are on the right path. That gut feeling or that curiosity that you have is trying to lead you to your soulmate. And I think not only will you meet your soulmate, but I think it will make you feel a lot more connected to your community and yourself. And so I think that's all positive. It's very cute. So, it's this is, I think, probably one of the best ways to meet your soulmate is through mutual interest or it feels very serendipitous, which is very cute, I think. So thank you for watching my pile ones. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Speak to you again soon. Take care. If you selected pile 2, Sulis, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out how you're going to meet your soulmate. So the first card that we have here in the spread is the Maiden of Swords, which is equivalent to the Page of Swords. And I always see this card as like clarity or like a new vision, a new philosophy. Like something comes into your mind or your world that just changes your perspective on everything. And with the Two of Cups next to this, I feel like it's literally just meeting your soulmate, your person. This really feels like, when like you meet this person, you're like, oh, MG, like this is my person. This is who I've been waiting on. Especially if you've been cynical regarding love before, you're like, whoa, like I didn't even know that it could be like this. I didn't know that it could be this nice, because the Two of Cups is really this card about like harmony in romantic relationships. There's so much mirroring, but not codependence. It's just like, this person really sees you and understands you on kind of this intuitive, emotional level. And so I think when you first meet your soulmate, there's this kind of instant level of attraction. So that's kind of a clue, as to this is your person. I think you just feel it in your gut, because I think there are some instances where maybe you meet someone and you like them maybe on like a friendly level, but you don't really think much of it, and then it takes a while for those maybe romantic feelings to blossom. But that really doesn't feel like the case with this person. It feels like a very immediate attraction, and that's also coming through in the Eight of Wands here, which is this card about quick communication, attraction, flirtation. This card is often referred to as like the flames of passion. So there's this immediate kind of passion and attraction, and I definitely think that your soulmate is very quick to pursue you and be like, whoa, when can I take you on a date? When can I get your number? When can I talk to you more? When can I see you more? Let's spend time together. There's a lot of like romance and basically trying to woo you here, which is very cute. And with the Nine of Cups, I'm definitely I think this person will ask you to dinner almost immediately after meeting you, like very much, let me take you out to eat, because the Nine of Cups can be a card about feast. But the Nine of Cups is also a card about like your wish fulfillment. Like this person kind of embodies everything that you've ever wanted in a partner, which really goes back to that feeling of like, whoa, like I can't believe I was ever cynical about love before. I thought maybe love wasn't for me, because this person has been out there waiting for me this whole time. And with two of these cards being Cups cards, I definitely do think, especially paired with the pile marker that you selected, Soulmate, which says bodies of water, that you could meet this person near a body of water, so an ocean, a lake, something like that. I'm getting, for a lot of you, it could be like while you're traveling or on vacation. So I think there is kind of that like foreign element here, which is maybe why you've felt maybe jaded in your love life. You're like, I'm never going to meet this person. It's like, yeah, you literally had to go somewhere else because they are not around you. And actually, with the Five of Pentacles at the end of your spread here, I think that for a lot of you, this is a vacation that you take to a place that is cold. Or maybe you take it during winter time. So there could be snow around you. And I think that also with the Five of Pentacles, a lot of people do interpret this as like a negative card. But I think especially in like a soulmate reading, I see this as someone who will really stick beside you through like thick and thin. And I think again, I'm kind of getting like a long distance thing, because I do feel like you meet this person while you're traveling, or they're traveling, or you're on vacation, etc. And so it feels like, you know, you meet this person, you have this wonderful connection, then you're like, what are we supposed to do because we don't live in the same place? But it's like this person remains devoted and loyal to you even while you have to figure out kind of the logistical aspects of being together, because I don't think that this is someone that you are going to be like, you know, with immediately, just because I think there is like a separation here, but not because of not wanting to be together, but because of these practical realities, like, oh, I live in one state and you live in the other one, or I live in one country and you live in the other one. But yeah, I definitely think that this is maybe a vacation you're going on in like the winter time, or when it's cold, or to a cold location. So this could be like going to a ski resort, or if you're going to, you have like a winter holiday, it could be that, which would make sense. I said if I were going to choose a pile, I would choose this pile. And I'm going to go, my parents live in Greece, so I'm going to go visit them during the winter holidays. So obviously it will be cold there, but it's also an island. It's surrounded by all this water, so that's feeling kind of hopeful for me. And for the pile marker you selected, as I said, Soulmate, bodies of water. This says spend time near water, such as a lake, river, or the ocean, to recharge your batteries. And I think recharge your batteries is really important here, because again, it's giving vacation vibes. So if you've been thinking about taking a vacation, or you've been thinking about like going to the beach, I think plan your vacation, because it seems like you could definitely run into your soulmate there while you're kind of relaxing and unwinding. And I think sometimes vacations are like the best places to make these romantic connections, because you're usually a lot more relaxed and kind of open to the possibilities. And I think that's what really allows you to kind of be open to the possibility of this person coming into your life and being open to taking the chance on them. And I think you'll be very happy you did, because as I said, there's so much like connection and attraction here, and I think this person really changes your mindset when it comes to love, especially if you've been jaded or cynical, because this person, I think they're willing to fight for you. Like, they're willing to do what it takes to be with you and to impress you and to woo you and to make you feel like they really want you. Like, I don't think you have to guess where you stand with this person at all, which is good, especially if it's your soulmate. That's also coming through in the tea leaf fortune cards that we selected. So the first one is Target, which says a goal-oriented person. And to me, that goes with that 8 of Wands and that 9 of Cups, that your soulmate is very goal-oriented. They meet you, they know they want you immediately, and they do not let you second guess about it. I really get the sense that this person kind of immediately is like, I'm really interested in you. I would like to get to know you more. Can we go on a date? Can I get your number? Like, this person is trying to progress the relationship and really like get to know you, because they feel the connection immediately. And I think you do too, because as I said, you're really mirroring each other here at that 2 of Cups card. The second tea leaf fortune card here is Key, which says successful outcome to your problems. So to me, that goes with that 5 of Pentacles. The problem here is maybe this separation, because I do think that you meet when you are not in your normal habitat or location, or they're not like you're on vacation, you're somewhere where you're not normally at. And so it's like you meet this person, you really like them, and then you're like, but I have to leave now, or they have to leave now, so what are we going to do? But I think that ultimately you two, because you are soulmates, do end up overcoming these like logistical issues and separations, because as I said, with the Five of Pentacles, this person is willing to stick with you through thick and thin. In the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, the Five of Pentacles is depicted by these two people who are walking alone, like outside in the snow. And so a lot of the times the card is like, you might be going through very difficult times. You might have a lack in your life, but you have each other. And so I think both of you really are not enjoying the separation, because I think you're both very sold on each other kind of immediately after meeting. But both of you are willing to work for each other. Like, you're not really willing to give up the connection. And because of that, you kind of overcome this issue. I think maybe one of you will end up moving to be closer to the other or something like that, so you can really pursue this connection in a real way. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's your soulmate, because as I said, they're a very goal-oriented person. I don't think they're willing to give up on you. And so I think they would really seriously like uproot their life to try to be closer to you, just to take that chance, because I think they just feel in their gut like, I need to be with this person, which is really sweet. So congratulations to you, my pile twos. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you again soon. Take care. If you selected pile 3, Callie, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out how you will meet your soulmate. So we're starting off your spread here with this 8 of Cups. And immediately what I'm getting from this is that for a lot of you, you are kind of in the midst of having to make or have just made a difficult decision to leave something behind. For some of you, this was a breakup. For others of you, this was maybe deciding to move or take a risk. Like maybe you decided to go to a college that everyone else told you, no, you should stay like closer to home. And you were like, no, I really want to go to this college, even though it's 2 states away. Like, I need to have the space to, I just heard wide open spaces by the Chicks. So you need room to make your big mistakes. So I think you just needed space to kind of figure out what you were going to do on your own, to explore and to see what more life has to offer you. So like I said, for some of you, this is a physical transition, like moving to a new location to start school there, to start a new job. For others of you, this is leaving behind a relationship, like a romantic relationship. And I get the feeling that it's not that the romantic relationship was bad, or that you didn't, maybe want to be together, or that it was toxic. It was more just like, I feel like there's more. Like, I feel like maybe this relationship is holding me back because I've settled into it and I'm grasping too hard on it, so I don't have to like continue my journey of like independence and self-discovery. The writer Rain Fisher Kwan actually recently wrote a very good essay that kind of talks about this, because she was in a relationship, I think from the time she was a teenager, for like years with this one guy, and they were really great together. She really loved being with him. He loved being with her, but eventually she was like, I need to try to further my career. I need to go experience this new city. And he didn't want to leave behind what he had already established in the city that they lived in. But ultimately they did decide to break up, and not out of a lack of love for each other, but because she didn't want to live her life thinking, well, what if? So if that's something that you're currently going through, if you're having this big question of what if I'm missing out on something, this is your signal that it will be really good for you to be able to take that step into the unknown. And it can be difficult. The 8 of Cups, I see this as like a very Cancerian card. If you know anything about Cancers, they're depicted by crabs. So you think of like crab. They have this very hard external shell, but they're soft and mushy on the inside. And so, crabs can be cancers, crab energy. This card is about wanting to hold on to things that are maybe nostalgic for you, but having a hard time like being vulnerable and saying, but maybe it's not meeting all of my needs anymore. So again, I think this is really a time of transition, or it's about to be a time of transition for you. And I think once you decide to kind of take that plunge and make that move, whether that's break up or go to this new location, try this new thing, you're going to be uncovering this Eight of Swords energy. So Eight of Swords I see as kind of exposing all the ways in which you've confined yourself. So, right now you may have felt like, well, I don't really know if I'm missing out on things or not. But I think if you do take this plunge, you're like, oh, I would have never been able to do this, this, and this, or I would have never been able to see how maybe this relationship was holding me back if I hadn't decided to take that plunge. So I think there is things yet to be uncovered about maybe that relationship or about the places that you kept yourself in before. And I think it will be very empowering for you to be like, I really have the power to remove these restrictions for myself. The only person holding me back is me, and I have the power to really make my life what I want it to be. So this feels like definitely a big time of empowerment for you. And with the Witch of Pentacles or the Knight of Pentacles in the middle of your spread, this is a card that to me indicates rebuilding. So for most of you, I think it's going to be a while before you meet your soulmate. This is definitely not immediate. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest court card in all of the tarot, but it's also the hardest working. So I think because you kind of have to make this big change and transition, there's going to be a lot of time that you spend working on yourself, working on your stability, getting your life in order. But ultimately, I do see you becoming so much more confident, so much more decisive about what you need and what you want, because we transition from this Knight of Pentacles to the Crone of Swords or the King of Swords. So you go from a knight to a king. So that's growth. You grow up, and the King of Swords is someone who is very intelligent, very good with their words, very good with communicating. And so I see you kind of coming into this energy of being so much more confident about what it is that you want and knowing that you can make it happen for yourself. The secondary message that I'm getting from this King of Swords is that your soulmate could be in Aquarius or have a prominent Aquarius placement in their natal chart. So Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. But generally, they might be embodying this, so they could be very intelligent, very good communicators, and they have a lot of wisdom. This is someone who has really maybe gone through a lot of transformations in life also, and because of that, I think they can be very patient, very level-headed. They have a really good head on their shoulders, is what I'm hearing. So I think that you will really appreciate that about this person, because it seems like you are kind of going through a similar journey. And with the Empress at the very end of your spread here, this indicates to me that you could meet this person during either the spring or the fall. I'm getting like a late March through most of April, or late September through most of October. So that could be a time frame for either of you. But like I said, I feel like it's going to take time. So it might not be next year. Could be the year after that, something like that. But another message that I'm getting from this is that I think for a lot of you, if you are someone who is especially interested in like having children or starting a family, you could definitely be doing it with this person, with this soulmate. And I'm also getting that for some of you, you do have interference from like a mother figure, but in a positive way. So for example, maybe your mom is the person that introduces you to your soulmate. It could be like let's say you move away and your mom misses you and is like, well, I want to get like a job or live closer to where you are. So she starts working like in an office, and the young, like cute guy who works in her office, she says, hey, you should come like meet my daughter sometime. Something like that. Or she's like, the veterinarian that I take our cat to is really handsome, and he was not wearing a wedding ring. So, do you want to meet him or take the cat to the vet when you come back from break? Things like that. It feels like there's a little bit of a setting up. It reminds me of, I just watched the show Nobody Wants Us on Netflix, and there's one of the main characters is a rabbi, and he breaks up with his girlfriend, and then all of the congregation at the synagogue is trying to set him up like with their daughters. And so that's what it kind of feels like. It feels like this person is very eligible, and maybe your mother or a motherly figure to you, so that could be, an aunt or just a woman that you look up to, tries to set you two up. Or it could be the other way around, where it's like his mother or their mother or her mother, not to be heteronormative here, but I know that most of you are asking about men. Their mother is trying to do the same the opposite way. I do think that there's kind of a big emphasis on family here, so I think there is some kind of familial connection. Obviously not that you're related, but that there's some kind of, whether that's blood family or your chosen family, that kind of brings you two closer together. This definitely feels like maybe you've been orbiting around in each other's worlds a little bit, but you needed this separation either from your ex or from this old thing that you were doing in order to kind of come into direct contact with this person. So definitely whatever you've been thinking about leaving behind, go ahead and leave it behind, because it will take you on this journey that will ultimately lead you to this person. And I think that's also coming through in the pile marker that you selected, Kali, which says endings and beginnings. The old must be released so that the new can enter. So again, this is, you got to shut one door to have this other door open. So this person will not be made available to you until you walk away from something. And that's what's really being emphasized throughout this whole pile. So for your tea leaf fortune cards, the first one we got is Well, which says family wishes come true. So again, this ties back into that kind of motherly feeling. I do think that there is a female figure that either you or your soulmate is related to that kind of interferes, that they meet the other person before you do, and they're like, we need to set these people up. So there's definitely some family conspiring or some mother conspiring or something to get you two to meet. And I think they're really happy that when you do meet, it seems like an automatic connection and you really get along. And the second card here is Butterfly, which says a change for the better. So to me, that really goes with those first three cards. Again, the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Swords, and the Witch of Pentacles, which is you leaving behind things that maybe before you were scared of letting go of out of fear that there wasn't anything on the other side. But ultimately, it ends up setting you free. You realize how much more options and how much more choices and how much more control you have over your life and your relationships than you thought you did before. So go ahead and take that plunge, because you will come out on the other side this very transformed figure, going from this Knight of Pentacles to the King of Swords. You become so much more confident. You have so much more clarity about what it is that you want from your life and relationships. And ultimately, it leads you to maybe solidifying your relationship with this person who introduces you to your soulmate. So whether, again, that's your mother figure or someone else, another kind of feminine figure that you look up to. But this transformation really allows you to blossom and come into union with your soulmate, which is really beautiful. So congratulations, my pile threes. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you again soon. Take care. If you selected pile 4, Pele, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out how you will meet your soulmate. So this pile is pretty interesting. We're starting off your spread here with this Crone of Cups, which is equivalent to the King of Cups. And the message that I'm getting is, for a lot of you, you are currently dating someone or will date someone, like the next person you date will be someone that you really see a lot of potential in. The King of Cups is someone who can be so like emotionally intelligent and kind and patient, but, and here's the big but, I think that you have to end up breaking up with this person, and I think it is going to be you that breaks up with them. And really what I think it boils down to is you deciding, like, this is just not everything I wanted. I think you feel like maybe you're there for this person emotionally, and maybe they're supportive of you emotionally, but it doesn't feel like there's much else behind it. So maybe, this is someone who cannot really hold down like a steady job. Maybe they're really nice to you, but you end up like paying all the bills or doing all the housework. And you're like, this is just not what I want for my future. I really like this person, but I want someone who is a partner and not just, like a liability to me, no matter how kind they are to me or how much they like me. Another example is that you could, maybe feel like this person's really romantic, but you also feel like we have nothing in common intellectually. Like, we don't have the same interests. This person's not really curious about the world at all. I just don't know what we're going to talk about in like 10 years, Or you're like, I feel like this person's codependent on me. Like, I feel like they rely on me so much for their happiness, and they don't have really any interest or hobbies or friends outside of like caring about what I'm doing. And again, I feel like you're going to date this person, you're going to love them. It just feels like you realize, sometimes the love isn't enough. There's other factors. I always tell my friends, there's a difference between chemistry and compatibility. There's a lot of people that we'll have chemistry with where we feel like there's maybe passion, or we're really attracted to them, or they like us. But compatibility is much rarer. Compatibility is, will our lives fit together the same way? Do we share the same values? Do we want the same things out of life? And that's a really rare thing to find. And it feels like that's a lesson that you're going to learn in this relationship. And ultimately, with the next card being the Three of Swords here, I do think that this is someone that you end up having to break up with. The Three of Swords is a card of heartbreak. And I think that it's, emotionally painful for you and this person, because again, it doesn't really feel like you're like, I hate this person or I don't want to be with them anymore. It just feels more like, I know that if I continue to stay with this person, I will eventually be unhappy in the long run because we have more chemistry than we have compatibility. But I think kind of clearing this person out of your life and clearing that space for someone you are compatible with obviously does open up that door for your actual soulmate to come in, because in the middle of the spread we have the Star, which is a card that's all about wish fulfillment and hopefulness. And so I think the Star is a really positive omen here. It's like you can actually manifest, you can have this partner of your dreams. You don't have to settle for someone who maybe checks off like a few of the boxes. You can have the person who is really everything for you. So some signs that I'm seeing for your soulmate, they could be an Aquarius or they could be an Aries. Those are the two signs that are coming through most strongly here. Or they could have a prominent Aquarius or Aries placement in their natal chart. So their Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. But with the Ten of Cups next in your spread, the Ten of Cups is this card that's about, like happiness. This is someone that you could really be happy with down the road, because the Ten of Cups can also indicate like families or like being together for a long time. And so I think this is kind of the opposite of your old partner, where maybe in the future you're like, I think this is fine for now, but I don't think I could be happy with this person forever if things continue the way they're going. I think with your soulmate coming in, this is someone who definitely you could just be happy with like down the road. Like you could be married for 50 years and still enjoy each other's company. And I think the reason why you like this person so much is because they do check all those check boxes for you. We have at the very end of your spread here the Sovereign, which is equivalent to the Emperor. The Emperor I see as like all four kings in the tarot combined. So the King of Cups, the King of Pentacles, the King of Swords, the King of Wands. So you see in the beginning, this first person that you're dating is only the King of Cups, which is not bad, but it's not checking off all these boxes for you. The Sovereign, the Emperor, is someone who is responsible. They're a good leader. They're reliable. They're practical. They will help you remember appointments. They'll help you plan your day. If you end up having a family with this person, you don't have to worry about like who's going to get the kids dressed or who's going to book the doctor's appointment. This person is an equal partner who will help you. This person also has their own interests and hobbies. You don't feel bored with them. They want to keep your romantic life exciting. They like going on new adventures with you. They like traveling with you. They're very protective over you. They could enjoy, trying new things, having new experiences, going to new restaurants, visiting new locations. This person's also emotionally intelligent, patient. They can be very romantic. And also, they're intelligent. They're curious about the world. They're interested in learning. They like discussing things with you. They value your opinions. And so this is really the full package that you've been waiting for. But I don't think that you can reach it until you break up with this person who is only checking some of those boxes for you. So for a lot of you, maybe you are currently dating this person and you've had your doubts and you're waiting. You might want to break up with them. If you haven't met this person yet, I think you do have to go through this relationship first and have this realization before you meet your soulmate. Because I think sometimes we have to ask ourselves, how are we settling, or how are we betraying our own interest? Are you willing to be this person's like caretaker or their mother or, their only like source of interest or happiness for the rest of your life? I think you have to be willing to walk away from something if it doesn't feel right. And that's a hard lesson for a lot of us to learn, especially when it comes to love. I remember, when I was younger, I dated someone and not to trauma dump, but I had like a pretty difficult childhood. And so I kind of grew up thinking, well, if someone's not actively like cheating on you or abusing you, physically abusing you, then that's like, they're probably a great partner, right? And so, I kept myself in relationships that were really not great for me, that made me feel bad about myself, that were toxic because that person wasn't cheating on me or physically abusing me, and I thought that was enough. And now I realize in retrospect that there's a lot of behaviors that I don't have to put up with. Just because they're not like obvious to me at the time. If it makes me feel bad, or it makes me feel stifled, or, I just remember being in those relationships and thinking, I couldn't marry this person because I just don't think I would be happy, but I wasn't ready to let go of the relationship yet. That's what this pile feels like to me. I think that for a lot of you, you kind of have to say, even if I have to be alone for a while, you have to believe that there is this other person who is very compatible with you, who will be there for you in the end, and it will work out. And I think that's also coming through in the pile marker that you selected here for Pele. This says divine passion. Be honest with yourself. What's your heart's true desire? So again, this is you having to be honest. What is it that you're missing from this relationship? Are you truly satisfied? Could you be satisfied with this for the rest of your life? And I think Pele is a really interesting goddess. She is the Hawaiian goddess of volcanoes. And you think of volcanoes, right? Lava, it burns everything down. So there's this feeling that you have to burn away the things that are no longer working for you. And I think that's what that Three of Swords is, you having to break up with this other person. But ultimately, it brings you something that's more aligned to what you really want, something that you feel more passionate about, which is your actual soulmate coming in, which is really cute. So for your tea leaf fortune cards, we got frying pan. This says trouble, accusations. And so I feel like, this goes with those first two cards. This is a trouble with that first relationship where, maybe to an outsider's point of view, it looks fine, but you're like, it's missing something. There's trouble here, and so I need to burn it away. And then the second card here is cobweb. This says protected from negative forces beyond your control. And so I think this is kind of just a reiteration that you don't need to be afraid of letting go of something that's okay. If it's just okay, you don't need to feel like I'm going to give up on this and then I'm never going to find love again, which I think is an easy fear to get into. Just know that the universe is supporting you and trying to align you with your soulmate, but you can't reach it until you're willing to, say, I deserve better than this. So I think just know that the universe has your back. And even though it's really scary to kind of let go of this relationship, it is ultimately going to serve you in meeting and coming into union with your soulmate, someone who is more aligned with you, who evokes more passion in you, who is more compatible with you and your values and your long-term goals. And that's really beautiful. So congratulations to you, my Pile 4s. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you again soon. Take care.